Hello traders, this is Kim from Ninja-Addons.com. In this video, I'm going to present you the different values that you can change to fine-tune the pattern recognition of the harmonic indicator. Let's start. First, we need to load the harmonic indicator. And on this tutorial, I'm going to leave it at the default settings, and I'm going to click on OK to load the indicator on the chart. Before I continue, I want to remind you that all the default values have been heavily tested and are aligned to the harmonic theory. So if you feel like this is too complicated, you can skip this presentation because the values are okay. But for those who want to understand and even change the settings, please continue watching. Alright, so as you can see, there is a tab called Ratios, which is available for each pattern. Inside this tab, you'll find a pictogram that represents the pattern as well as some settings that you can change from here. Now, we've decided to not allow you to change the ratios of the pattern because otherwise, it would not be our harmonic pattern anymore, but custom 5 points pattern. And because we want to stay consistent with the theory, each pattern is set with its own ratios, which can be found in the harmonic trading literature and also displayed on each pictogram. However, you have the ability to set an error margin for each pivot so that the algo do not eliminate too much potential patterns due to strict rules. This is because even if it happens occasionally, it is very rare that the pivot reacts at the exact same Fibonacci level, so we would end up with almost no harmonic pattern on our chart. Now again, if you want, you can set the error margin to 0. That way you'll see the patterns with exact ratios relatively to the harmonic theory. As you can see, the error margin can be set to the pivot. This is the parameter called pivot margin. If you want to have more information about what it represents or the unit, you can hover your mouse on the setting and a tooltip will appear giving you an explanation. So here, for example, margin around each pivot measured in percentage of ATR. It means that the unit is percentage of ATR, which stands for average true range, a standard way to measure the volatility. Basically, if you set it to 10, it means that price can retrace inside a zone, which is the exact theoretical level plus or minus 10% of ATR. The next parameter is for the PRZ, which stands for potential reversal zone. This is an area where prices are supposed to react. You can set an overlap or margin error, and here again, as you can see, it is expressed in a percentage of ATR. Then you can set the validation parameter. An important thing to understand is that when prices enter in the PRZ, it doesn't necessarily mean that the pattern is valid. Prices could continue and break the invalidation line. So what we coded in our algorithm is that a pattern is validated if prices go inside the PRZ, at least by a tick, and revert back to breakout the PRZ, creating a reversal. Now, the breakout of the PRZ can be validated when the price breaks the level, or when the close of the bar breaks the PRZ level. This is in order to avoid false signals. Back to our settings, if you check this parameter, it will require a close outside of the PRZ to validate the breakout. Otherwise, a single tick will be enough. And actually, it is the same with the next parameter, but with regards to the invalidation line. Remember, with some patterns, price can continue after the PRZ, and at some point, we need to invalidate the pattern. This level is defined in the pattern construction, and we can decide to invalidate the pattern when the close of the bar breaks the invalidation line, or when a single exchange, a single tick, breaks it. And as you can see, these settings are the same for each pattern, except for just one, which is the ABCD pattern. With this pattern, we added an extra parameter in order to limit the number of patterns detected. The parameter max bars invalidate patterns that are too big by counting the numbers of bars between the A and C pivots. In our opinion, if you see such pattern, you should go on a higher time frame because it will be very hard to trade on the time frame you're looking at. But if you don't want to use this parameter, you can set it to 1000, for example. That way, you'll see all patterns, even the biggest ones. One important thing that I forgot to mention is that if you change the parameters in the Ratios tab, you'll have to reload the chart, since the values are used in the construction of the patterns, and the algo has to process its calculation again on all the bars loaded on your chart. These settings are mandatory because they represent the constructions of the patterns. Lastly, you may have seen that these settings can be changed directly from the indicator window, like for a standard indicator. So from this window, you can configure each pattern parameters as well as the swing trends parameters. This is exactly the same as the parameters from the toolbar, but without the help of the pictogram and the tooltip messages. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you have any suggestion, question, and feedback, don't hesitate to send us a note at contact@ninja-addons.com. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel to get notified when a new video is published. Thanks for watching. Bye!